This drill sergeant walks in, big as hell, buff. Everybody stand up. And of course, you got some tough thugs in there. They're like, forget you. So they have this bill, the hat with a bill. And they base their training off like the old 60s Marine, 50s Marine training.
Yeah.
Takes the bill and goes like that into the bridge of your nose. Guy's nose cuts right open. Everybody stands up like, oh shit. Don't learn from me, guys. Please don't learn from me. So get hit with an escape charge. I wasn't on the run that long because I was still in the same city.
Right.
Or whatever. I don't know if I felt invincible at this time or just gave up. I don't know. So maybe like 3 weeks. I'm in a car with somebody else who was AWOL from the army.
Right.
So they're looking for him too. So we're in some parking lot. A cop, I guess, just runs the play. I don't know exactly what happened to this day. Next thing you know, we get caught, back to jail again. This time I know I'm going, I'm getting locked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's not kitty camping.
Yeah, I know this time. Yeah, I'm prepared. I'm like, I'm getting some time this time. So I basically I'm in jail, probably like county jail for like 6-7 months. Takes a while. I end up getting a court-appointed attorney, firing my public defender because public defender wanted me to take a deal for like 15 years or something like that, whatever. Because escape charge at that time, it was a maximum of like 12 years. Or whatever, and you had to do a minimum, I think, of 4 or 6 or something like that. I don't remember, but there's a minimum. Every state has a minimum, so it was a minimum of 4 or 6 I had to do. On top of the other charges I was already in trouble for.
Right.
So he wanted me to take this plea deal. I ended up firing him. They got a court-appointed attorney. He helped me out a little more. So the judge they end up sentencing me to 10 years prison. That was my original charge. So
how much time do you have to do on a 10-year bid on the state?
At that time, is
this Colorado?
This is Colorado. So, but the rules changed since from then to now. A lot of it's changed. Back then, I think I had to do 60%. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know I had to do more back then than you do now. Now it's like if it's violent, it's only 33%.
Right.
So if you get a 10-year, you're doing about 3.5 years if you're good.
Do you go on parole at that time, or is it just that's the most you did 33%? You're good.
No, you go on parole,
okay.
And you can go to halfway house. I think at like 20% or something like that, or whatever. If it's nonviolent in Colorado, so they changed.
I need to go to Colorado,
right? With all the weed, man. That's what happened. So they changed it, but back then it was different. So all my crimes are nonviolent, and it was my first time. It was our first time offender. So the judge actually recommended me for a prison boot camp. They don't have that no more in that state anyway, but at the time they did. So he goes, if you graduate the boot camp program, I'll make sure you come back and I'll give you reconsideration. I'll give you another chance.
Right.
Because they saw that even like growing up as a kid, I didn't have any troubles. They were just amazed that all of a sudden I turned 22 and I get all these felonies out the blue. Like, what the hell happened with you or whatever. So I end up going to prison. I have to go like to the whole waiting facility, which is like a medium or whatever it is.
Right.
Sitting there for about a good 4 months or something like that. They end up sending me to South Park, Colorado, which I didn't even know was a real place, like South Park. Yeah. Real place. Never knew that till then. So they sent me to South Park, Colorado. There's a prison facility there. So now I'm sitting there waiting too. I'll wait there for another 3 months. Now from there, I go to the prison boot camp. So then I go to this prison boot camp, which is in like Buena Vista, Colorado, I think it was, if I remember correctly.
What year is this?
This was 2004, I think 4.
All right.
So go there, and I'm in the prison boot camp. By the way, which is not easy. That's probably the hardest thing I ever did in my life. I went through Hell Week and football and everything. This was tops all of it. You go on a squad. They send you on a bus. They really don't prepare you. It's about, I think it was a little over 100 of us on this bus. We get there. They take the cuffs off us. You're shackled up. They take the shackles off. So we're in this bus like, our shackles off. Yeah. This drill sergeant walks in, big as hell, buff. Everybody stand up. And of course, you got some tough thugs in there. They're like, forget you. So they have this bill, the hat with a bill. And they base their training off like the old 60s Marine, 50s Marine training.
Yeah.
Takes the bill and goes like that into the bridge of your nose. Guy's nose cuts right open. Everybody stands up like, oh shit, So we stand up, get off the bus, got us going these drills. The whole system basically, I think it was like
5 months it took. Only 22 of us graduated out of 100 and something. That's how hard it is. 22 of us graduated.
And if they don't graduate, now you just go to prison.
You go to prison.
So these guys came to the conclusion, I'm just going to go to prison.
Yes. Now, the one thing they did do good, I would say, was those people that ran the prison boot camp, they would not let you quit. So even if you wanted to quit, they would give you like 3 or 4 chances. They would put you in a room, let you cool off, and then maybe somebody will come talk to you. Do you have a family out? Da-da-da-da-da. Please. If you went there and let's say, because we're all knew each other before, we're all waiting together. So they would come up to you like, hey, Matt, you know such and such, right? Do you think maybe you want to talk to him? You know more about him than me. I'll let you go talk to him. You guys have some one-on-one time.
Yeah.
Try and talk about it not quitting. So I will say they did.
Yeah.
They did kind of care about you, you know, about where you were going in life.
Well, then you got to get frustrated and exhausted. And you're like, you get exhausted. And you're just like, I just want to quit. Like, I'll do anything to get out of this situation.
Oh yeah, because the first 2 months they don't tell you to after you're about to graduate. The first 2 months they break you down. It's to break you down, then they start building you back up. So they talk about your mom, they talk about your kids, they do whatever they can to break you down to your most lowest point, and then they build you back up. So I mean, yeah, it was very hard, and there was girls in there too. It was co-ed, so we had girls. Every girl made it. There was 4 girls, they all made it. So out of the 22, the 4 girls made it. The toughest guys did not make it. All the big gangsters and thugs, they rather would go to prison. They couldn't do it. So I ended up not graduating, but also as a squad leader. So I had like high honors actually. So when I graduated, I'm sitting there waiting for my reconsideration. Well, while I'm waiting for my reconsideration, they call me into the counselor's office. So I go to the counselor's office and she goes, I need you to sit down. Well, while I'm sitting down, there's also a chaplain there or a priest or whatever. And she goes, just to let you know, I got a phone call, that your wife, she wasn't my wife, but, they've been into an accident and your son passed away. So, that was like my worst fears because I've always wanted to be there for him. The reason why I even went to boot camp was to graduate, come out, be back with him in his life, stuff like that or whatever, So once they told me that, everything just like crashed. I didn't know what to do. Basically, they tell you that, say I'm sorry, and then they send you back.
Right.
So now you're back to where you're at. They had a service. Now I was allowed to go to the service. They escorted me to the service. I really couldn't do much. I had to be in the back. I was cuffed, stuff like that. After the service, I got sent back. All the drill instructors, boot camp instructors, they all feel bad for me.
Yeah.
They're all like, we never seen nothing like this. Is horrible. Da, da, da. So they're all wishing for me the best, this and that.
Right.
So,
but you still have to go to the program.
Yeah. So, graduate and everything. So after that, they send me back to county jail for reconsideration. So I go to my reconsideration. County jail, the judge finds out everything that happens. They're reading, the DA's even reading good things about me. I've never seen that before in my life. The DA, he stands up and goes, I've been to the boot camp. This guy graduated honors. I think he deserves a second chance, this and that, da, da, da. So I'm sitting like, wow, looking at him like, but they never say anything good. I'm like, okay, I did something good. The judge finds out about what happens to my son. He's like, I told you, I promised you if you graduate, I will reconsider you. So they considered me for a halfway house. They lowered my term. I think it was from 10 to 4 years in a halfway house. So I ended up going to the halfway house. The halfway house is only 10 minutes down the street from pretty much where my son's buried at. Never got to see where he's buried at. I needed to make peace. I just needed that or whatever. Because you're used to, not used to, but you expect your parents to die, right? You expect that to happen. But when your kid dies, it's like you're supposed to be their protector. It's like you're not used to that. There's nobody that can consult you. Nobody knows how you feel unless they've been through that too.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out what to do. So I go talk with the counselor at the halfway house, and I'm like, listen, I need to go make peace with my son just for my mental stability, because I wasn't there when it happened. And basically, she's like, I tell you what, if you go out, go do what you have to do, pay your fines. I need you to go get a job, and then we can talk about that, and I probably will let you go. So I said, all right. So I'm in a halfway house for about a good month. I actually go out and get 2 jobs. I get a night and a day job. I barely sleep. I go to the halfway house, sleep 3 hours a day. That's it.
Right.
My first checks, I give it all to the halfway house. I'm like, here's my, because you got to pay rent too.
Yeah.
So here's my rent. Here's money for my fines. Here's extra money for my fines. You know, I went and did everything I was supposed to do. Can I go visit my son now? And she's like, sorry, no, you can't go. Why? Because there's no landline phone. So everywhere I had to go had to be a landline phone. There's no landline phone at a graveyard because you weren't supposed to have cell phones at the time.
Well, she knew that when she told you to do all this shit.
Yes. So I'm upset. I go to walk out. There's a guy that works there at the front desk that you check in at the halfway house. He hears everything. He goes, tell you what, I'll let you go. You go right now, and I'll cover for you like you went to go to Walmart to buy some hygiene stuff or something. All right.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks
that doesn't make sense to me because you'll let me go to Walmart. You'll let me go to the pharmacy to get medication. You'll let me go to the doctor.
Yes.
Like there's no landline. Like I don't have to I don't check in when I go to Walmart for 2 hours.
Yes, but you can go get hygiene stuff,
right?
Which made no sense. So
right.
I didn't get the whole logic of that.
Right.
So
you weren't going to spend saying, hey, I need to go here for 2 days. You're saying, let me go see my son's. Let me go for an hour.
Yeah,
and
just
come back.
Make peace, say bye, whatever I have to do,
right.
grieve. Because I never had it. You can't grieve in jail. You can't. You know that you can't grieve in jail. So I never got a chance to grieve. So it was kind of late during the day, like maybe 6 or 7 o'clock or whatever. The guy goes, sure, go ahead. So I leave. I go. Get to the grave. There's a guard there. And the guard's like, yeah, the cemetery is closed. Sorry. So I'm trying to explain to him, hey, I just want to go see my son. Da 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 da. Guy's like, sorry, can't go. Do you want me to call the police? I'm like, oh. So I end up leaving. I go back to the halfway house. When I go back, I go to check back in, that from my hygiene stuff. Well, my counselor's right there instead. She goes, yeah, you were where you're supposed to be at. I'm like, I didn't tell him, I didn't tell her that the guy let me go. I didn't want to tell on him or nothing like that because I've never been that type of person. She goes, well, just let you know you violated and the police are on their way to come get you. And I need you to sit right there.
Nah, I'm not sitting here.
I flipped the table. I flipped everything I could and I walked out. I ran. There was a highway across, like the halfway house was sitting next to the highway. I remember running out. Even ran across the highway. I don't even know where the hell I was running to. Ran across the highway. I'm dodging cars. Basically left. Never went back. The next day I even left the state and never went back. And that was the start of my journey of pretty much dodging the law was from there.